Today we talk about board games that I bought from Japan. Now, do you see a lot of board games over here? These are the 10 board games that I bought from Japan. I probably bought more than 10, but these are the 10 that we're going to talk about. These are the 10 that I think are most worthwhile. But before I go into these games, I want to talk about the 3 problems that you might face when you're there in Japan. Okay, first of all, if you want to buy board games in Japan, the first problem you'll face is you don't know whether the board games are going to be language independent. Now, these board games that I have here, they are language independent. They come also with English instructions, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. The second problem you're going to face is you might not know which games to buy. You might be overwhelmed with options. You might want to buy games that is only available in Japan or has some kind of exclusivity in Japan. So these are the games that I think they're probably all made in Japan, so I think it's worthwhile to check out these games in particular. The last problem you will find is you might not know exactly where you could buy games in Japan, so I'm going to give you 4 places to buy games in Japan, and yeah, I think you should check all 4 out. They're everywhere, right? The first one is called Don Don Donki. So Don Don Donki is sort of like a convenience store. It's like a Walmart in Japan, right? So they sell discounted items. You can find the cheapest games at Don Don Donki. So if you're looking for board games that are really cheap, you can find them at Don Don Donki. They are usually at discounted prices, and I think I've seen Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon was at $1 or $2 at Don Don Donki. Okay, so that's the place to check out for good deals. They are also everywhere, so different Don Don Donki outlets would carry almost different selection of games, because I think they're a discount store, so you might not find stock at one area, you might find more at the other area, and if you go to the bigger Don Don Donki, naturally they have more selection. The second place to check out is called Tokyo Hands. It's actually a stationery store. In Tokyo Hands, that's where I bought all my Oink Game games. Okay, you might not get the best prices at Tokyo Hands, but they have a wide variety of Oink Game games. So if you're trying to find Oink Game games in particular, then Tokyo Hands is the place to go. Tokyo Hands is the place to check out. I remember that Don Don Donki also had quite a few Oink Game selections, so yep, you don't have to worry too much about Oink Game games when you're over there. But I did order mine online. So I'm a huge fan of small box games, so I ordered my Oink Games online and had them send it over to my hotel. So that's something you could do as well, just putting it out there. The third place that you can find games would be called Yodobashi by Camera. So this is the electronic store. I think there's one other one that I can't remember the name, but this one is also almost everywhere. You can just go there, you can just go to a certain level at their toys segment and you'll be able to find games as well, so you can check this out. Also quite a wide variety depending on the size of the store. Okay, now the last place is called Yellow Submarine. Now in Yellow Submarine, this is a board game specialty store, so they specifically sell board games, so that's wide variety over there. The only problem I feel is most of the time the Japanese sales assistants, they won't be able to assist you in English much, so you might have to just find your way through, use a Google Translate app in order to tell what games are best for you. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to jump into the games. Okay, these are the games I think are worth buying. I cater most of our games to a group of friends that are non-gamers, so I think these are quite mainstream games that you will get at least 1 or 2 good plays out of it. Okay, so now this one, the first one I'll talk about is Viking Seesaw. Viking Seesaw is actually a game by Reiner Knizia, but it is, I think it came as a series. I think this is called E10. E10, I believe, stands for 1 point or last chance in a way, like 1 point to make a difference. I think that's the essence it's trying to portray. So this is called the Fun Brick series. They are a series of 4, once again very small box, very tiny but long. Okay, long but tiny. Look at my fingers. Okay, so it's the size of this. Yeah, small box but tiny and packs a lot of fun. I haven't even opened this one, but I'll talk about this one in a while. So it comes in a set of 4 games. There are 4 of these long box games, and I believe I've tried searching up online quite a bit. Viking Seesaw is the #1 game that you should buy from the series of 4, and it's fun, it's easy to play. I might do a run through of this one in a video to come. You can see that the components are quite interesting. Okay, it packs flat, it plays big, there's a good table presence. Basically it's a dexterity game, and you are trying to get rid of all your luggages, all your items on top of the boat. I think this one is worth considering out of the 4. Okay, you can just buy one to check it out. The second one is a party game. This is a party game from the series where you're gonna flip open either a brain teaser or a physical challenge, and you have 3 seconds to complete that challenge. So this sticker is what I really bought it for. It goes tick 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 tick, and then it gets stuck to a magnet over here, and it's quite therapeutic. I haven't opened this one. I like party games, right? So, and I don't like party games that are going to quiz me about trivias that I don't know. A lot of party games were from America. A lot of party games might talk about things that about cultural stuff that I don't know, just like Card versus Humanity, right? So some of the cards I think is very hard to relate to, but because this is Japanese and because they know that they're trying to cater to an international audience, the brain and the physical challenges, the brainy challenges, the physical challenges are relatively easy to understand. It's in that way language independent, so I think it's worthwhile getting this too if you can find them. The last time I believe I bought them from Tokyo Hands, and they were available individually, and most of the time this one is going to be harder to find because people seem to realize that this has the most value. It's also the heaviest one of their other games. If you are interested in other games from E10, or if you're interested in other games from the series, I'll put a few links down below and you can find out a little bit more. Okay, now let's talk about the Oinking games that I bought. I bought quite a few Oinking games. Now these games, except for Fake Artist Goes New York, this is a game that I already owned before I went to Japan. So most of the games I bought just last year, but I have always had Fake Artist Goes to New York. This was one of my favorite games for a long while, until recently. Until recently I realized that to become the fake artist puts a lot of pressure on a person. This is a deception game. This is a hidden identity game, and so the person who is going to be the wolf per se, you know, this is like the werewolf game, but the person who's going to be a wolf is going to have a hard time. It's going to feel a little bit pressure. They sort of sweat a lot, and then they just don't seem to like board games after all. So I now try to stay away from playing Fake Artists, but I had so many good memories from Fake Artists. So that's Fake Artists Go New York. If you've never played it before, if you think you're a fun-loving crowd, and if you like secret identity games, then this, I think you can get it. I say it so, yeah, you can get it. You should get it. Okay, the next game that I bought, I haven't opened this one. Town 66 seems to be puzzly type, a slightly more thinky game. So my wife is into these games, so this is one I bought. The next game is called Durian. Now, I love the components in Durian. You can take a look at these. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. That's the first thing that people say. That's, oh, wow, that's really a lot of stuff in one box. Okay, people really like the bell. Okay, so Durian is also a bluffing game, but there's no yeah, so it's a bluffing game, and once again, just like Fake Artists Go New York, some people don't like bluffing games, but this one I would still recommend it for the cute components, and for the right group it's still going to be quite fun. Okay, but if you have a group of people that prefers more thinky games, then this might not be the best party or bluffing game for you. I would then recommend something called The Insider. So between Fake Artist Goes New York, or Durian, Insider, this is the best game. This is the top-rated game for Oink Games. If you're going to buy just one game, if you have limited luggage space, if you just want to try out one game from Oink Games, I think Insider is the one to go for. This is your typical 20 question with secret identity. Okay, so Oink Games, as I think this has to be their bestseller. I have never had a chance to ask, but I'm pretty sure this one is. So Insider comes with relatively easy components. To me, they are quite high quality components. You see that these are actually hard boards. Okay, so in this game you are basically trying to do 20 questions, and somebody is trying to help you, right? In most secret identity, the person who is the traitor per se is trying to spoil the game. This one, the secret identity person is the one that's trying to help you in the game, and I think for that reason alone it makes people a lot more comfortable playing this. So I'm probably gonna do a proper video explaining all of these games individually in time, so I apologize if the explanation for these games right now are quite brief, but I hope you get an idea of what they are, and if you see them, you at least you know what to do. Okay, so this is the same size as the Oink Game box, but this isn't from Oink Games. This is from, yep, I'm gonna avoid trying to pronounce this. So these is also from Reiner Knizia, and for me, you know, you can't go wrong with Reiner Knizia. This is a very simple game, simple components, the artwork is great. You are basically trying to clear cards, I think. You're trying to clear out cards. You use this to build a little reservoir, and then you're trying to place down cards, and you're trying to clear them. Very simple game, very simple components, but as you know, with Reiner Knizia game, there is a little bit of thinking involved. So it's amazing how it's so small. It's thinner than an Oink Game box, but it packs a punch. Okay, so this one, I think it's a light feeler. It's a very, very light feeler that you could try to put in your purse, and yeah, it's worth considering. Okay, let's talk about the last few games. Okay, so these are also Oink Games, but these are exclusive for Japan only. That they're only selling this in Japan. You won't be able to get anywhere else unless somebody brought it from Japan and then they try to sell it. So this is the Hello Kitty version of 9 Tiles, which is a dexterity game where you are trying to get into a certain pattern faster than your opponent. Okay, so you don't actually need to know how the game played to get it. These are just collector items. My wife is a fan of Hello Kitty, and that's why we had to get these. This second one, so I'm a fan of 9 Tiles. We have the original 9 Tiles version. I would also recommend it if you see it around. If you see 9 Tiles from Oink Games, the 2 games I would recommend for Oink Games would be 9 Tiles, not 9 Tiles Panic, 9 Tiles, as well as Insider. Okay, so 9 Tiles is a dexterity game, and Insider is a social deduction game, so you get 2 good variety over there. Now, this one, they call it Speed Wolf. You won't be able to find much information online about how to play it, so I will definitely do a video for this one. This is also a dexterity game where you're trying to put down cards as quickly as you can. You're trying to clear out cards. Okay, so like I said, if you are trying to look for games that are exclusive in Japan, then you know these 2 are great gifts per se, and they are, yeah, the board games. The last game that I'm going to talk about is this, Before the Guest Arrives, by, where are you? Sashi and Sashi, right? Sashi and Sashi, where is, so this is the logo. Yeah, so this is a series of games that features the same characters. You got daddy, you got mommy, you got the little girl, you got the big sister and the big brother. Okay, so it's very Japanese. And this is the lightest game from their series of games. So they have been around for a long time, but this is their lightest games. Before the guests arrive, it's easy to play, relatively easy to teach. I think the card stock is also pretty good quality. Components wise, these are really just cards. Okay, this would be, I would say this could be the heaviest game of everything here, but heavy is still a light game, but this has the most thinkiness to it per se. It's a popular favorite. I've played this with many people, and most of the time they're fascinated by this one compared to the rest. Okay, so this is also one that you should consider. And finally, if you are around Japan, you're gonna run into a store called Daiso, and this isn't a board game, but this is available for $1. They got the large size, they got the medium size as well, and they help to keep your games together really well. Yeah, like the perfect size for the small box game, the large one is the perfect size for bigger box games, so you could buy one of these as well. All right, and that's it. This video has gone on much longer than I expected, but I hope you got good value out of it. If you have any questions, and I would be happy to try to answer you as long as I see it. Okay, and if you're trying to buy the games, these are the ones to consider. I hope this has been helpful. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your trip. All right, see you guys.